Good morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome. What is up? How's everyone doing today? It is Friday. That's right. It is starting the weekend for a lot of people. It is the 16th of October, 2020. I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you to a full and fun day of gameplay streams. And today we're doing something interesting because we're going to be checking out an expansion for one of the biggest games of 2020 that no one expected would be coming out. No one even really asked for it. But nevertheless, it's here and released this morning. We're going to be checking out the Legends expansion DLC for Ghost of Tsushima, including 2 different multiplayer modes that we're going to be checking out today, which should be pretty neat. You know, I kind of hearken this back to the days of Assassin's Creed, when after many successful outings, they decided to add multiplayer to Assassin's Creed. Pretty cool. Will it be good? I don't know. It has both PvP and PvE elements, and we're going to check that out today. Which is neat. I'm excited for that. But ladies and gentlemen, as we start up today, before I even get into the schedule, before I get into news, before I get into all kinds of stuff, I'd like to start up what I will call a new segment of my pre-stream. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Boomer Moments with DSP, where I bitch about stuff that only old people will complain about. Alright? Today's segment, we're going to entitle, It Ain't Like the Old Days. Okay? So you remember the old days, back when you used to be able to go to the store, and you would take a look at the shelving, and you're like, oh wow, look at all these games that are available. Oh man, Mega Man. Oh shit, Street Fighter, Super Mario. This is a great selection. I feel like I want to play this game today. And you would buy that game, you would take it home, you'd put it into your console. And that moment that you booted it up, instant booting by the way, you'd be able to play the actual finished game. You wouldn't have to sit there and wait. You just, boom, you're playing the game within moments. You're hearing that really cool intro music riff. You're jumping into the action, right? Those were the days, man. Let me tell you. You might be saying, why is Phil bringing this up today? Well, because today, as you know, modern games are not the same. Even if you buy the physical disc version of a game, you've still got a lengthy required update, usually a day 1 update, that takes a long-ass time to download to your game console. Alright? Then you've got to wait for multiple segments of things to happen before you can actually even play that game. That could take a very long time. Alright, now there are ways that you can try to get around this. For example, if you pre-order a game digitally, instead of waiting for the physical copy, sometimes you can actually have the game preload itself into your system way ahead of time. So that way, if you want to play it the moment that it's supposed to unlock at midnight or whatever time it may be your time, then you can just play it, right? But in a lot of cases, that's just not possible. Alright? So why am I bringing this up in particular today? Well, you know, I knew that Ghost of Tsushima was going to have this update today, and all week I tried to prepare for it. All week I wanted to try to get this loaded ahead of time so that when we were ready to go today, we'd be good to go. It wouldn't be any issue, right? So, earlier this week, in fact, it was 2 days ago, I re-downloaded Ghost of Tsushima, the full game, to my PS4. Okay? And that was great. I was able to do that and get it ahead of time. And at that point, it said all updates had been available. You know, you're good to go. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's already there. I don't know. So my PS4 is hooked up, and my PS4 is set for auto updates, meaning if any of my games have a required update, it should automatically install these overnight. And therefore, when I boot the system up in the morning, it should be ready to go. No problem. Okay? So I turned on my PS4 this morning. As you know, I turn it on around 10:15. You know, I turn on the stream, and then I get my PS4 going to get it going for the stream. So I check. First of all, immediately it starts downloading an update for Crash Bandicoot 4. And I'm like, but I have this set up to do overnight updates, so why didn't it do this overnight? Okay, now I don't know. I mean, I would guess, this is my guess, that they didn't release it overnight. They probably just released it this morning. Okay, so the PS4 checks once overnight. I'm going to guess it's like 2, 3 a.m. or something to see if there's an update. And if there's an update, great. It downloads it. If not, it says, oh, well, go back to sleep. So probably this update came out early this morning. So it automatically starts downloading an update for Crash 4. Okay. And I'm like, all right, let's check on an update for Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, it's there. Oh, okay. Required update. So I start to download the update. It's almost 9 gigabytes. Okay. So that's a pretty hefty update. For a DLC mode. So let's get it going, all right? So the good news is I've got great internet. You know, it took about 20 minutes to download this update in order to play it, you know, in the game today on stream. So it's downloading, and I'm doing my pre-stream. I'm playing my pre-stream music or whatever, and I'm like, this is fine. I'll have it done in time for the stream, no problem. So then it finishes. But then it says, oh, well, now we have to copy. Copy? Copy what? Just think about this. You downloaded the update. This is supposed to be the game files to be, you know, put into the existing game to have this DLC content. What are you copying? Are you telling me that when PlayStation 4 downloads an update, it puts it somewhere else, then where it's actually supposed to be located to be used, and then when it's done, it copies to where it needs to be? Isn't that kind of, you know, roundabout engineering? Why not just download it to where it's supposed to be to begin with? You know, when I used to mess with PCs, it wouldn't download a game update to a separate hard drive and then copy it from hard drive D to hard drive E before you could use it. This doesn't make much sense to me, okay? The only thing I can think of, all right, is that Sony knows, sadly, people don't have consistently good internet. And maybe what they're afraid of is if they downloaded a game update directly to the system files or directly to the program files of a game that already is running or working, that then if your download is interrupted, right, or if your internet's shitty, and what if one of the files corrupted, then it would completely corrupt your whole game, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking, is they're trying to avoid any kind of roundabout problems that could happen if your internet's crappy and a file corrupts. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm certainly not a software engineer. I don't know anything about this. Okay. So now it has to copy. So I shit you not, it took longer to copy the file than it did to download. It took about 20 minutes to download, and it took about 30 minutes to copy. So thank God I got my PS4 on a little early before I started the stream today. Because if I didn't, it probably wouldn't have finished in time. Like, I would have been here for an hour. Imagine if I just started doing this when we were about to play the game. That would have been an hour wait, if not longer, right? Compare that with back in the day. You buy the game, you pop it in, you play it, you're done. Okay? Of course, it could be argued. Well, because we have things this way today, the digital release, the digital updates, and even though they're lengthy and they can be annoying, at least we can get updates, right? Like back in the day, you would buy the game. Super Mario Bros. 3 didn't have a multiplayer option added later. You know, it was what came in the box at launch is what you got at launch, and that's all you got. You never got updates or anything for it. So I guess you could argue that, and I definitely would agree with that line of reasoning. But it still stands as a fact that, man, does it take a long time to get anything done with games these days. Even a console update, you know, your console needs to update. Downloading the update, verifying the update, installing the update. Okay, I mean, when you especially Xbox One is the absolute worst when it comes to a console update. It could take upwards of like over an hour to do a simple console update because it has to restart your Xbox One like 3 times, and I don't understand that at all. How they thought that was efficient, because it's not. But again, this is just me, you know, kind of being an older guy. You know, I'm 38 years old, so I'm a little long in the tooth. You know, I got gray hairs all over my face and my body. My balls hang down to my knees and clack together like metal balls on a peripheral movement pendulum. And because I'm so old, I can remember back in the day when it wasn't like this. And because of that, you know, it gets to me. It does. It gets on my nerves. Because I purposely set things up so that I don't have to do this in the morning, so that I should be ready to go as soon as I turn on my console. And it seems like no matter what I do, it just doesn't help. For example, this Ghost of Tsushima Legends update did not become available until like 9 a.m. this morning. So even having the auto download and auto update set up, it doesn't work. So it's frustrating in that regard. Okay, what can you do? So anyway, before we start today, I'm gonna go drag myself into the kitchen, eat some prunes, take some Metamucil, and get myself going here. Gotta glue my dentures in. Most of you probably don't even remember a time before there was like excessive downloads. Seriously, like you're like, every time I played a game, I fucking download an update file or whatever, right? I mean, probably your major gaming started around the Xbox 360, right? You guys are like 10 years old. All my viewers are children. Everyone knows this. That's what everyone says, is that all my viewers are young children. So obviously your first game was Grand Theft Auto 4, right? Okay then. Anyway, I digress. I thought that would be a little bit of an interesting take for this morning. So anyway, Ghost of Tsushima Legends. 2 PvP modes today. Well, excuse me. 2 multiplayer modes today. A PvE mode where it's you and one other person teaming up against AI enemies. And then a PvP mode where it's 4v4. And this is the mode I'm kind of excited for. It kind of reminds me of like the old school Assassin's Creed stuff. So I guess we're going to see how it's implemented. Alright? I'm excited to see how it's implemented. I hope you guys are interested in something completely different today. Okay? Now, if we play this today and it's not super interesting, okay, it's nice that it's there, but this is nothing to write home about, then we never have to do it again. We could just say, okay, it was good for the one-off stream, you know? But if this ends up being something interesting and you guys would like to see more, I would not be opposed to doing this as a night stream moving forward. Maybe do like a multiplayer session of this once a week, just to play a little bit, mess around. You know, I used to do the same exact thing with the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, where it would be, you know, maybe once a week I would do a session of it, and you guys enjoyed that for variety, okay? I haven't had a year with significant multiplayer games in a long time. If you remember back in the day, again, here we go, boomer moment. Back in the day, 10 years ago, right? Just think of all the multiplayer games that would come out. You'd have Call of Duty, and you'd have a Battlefield game. So you'd have 2 major first-person shooters, if not more. Like if there wasn't a Halo or something that year, you'd end up with like 3 or more major first-person shooters. Then you'd usually get some kind of like a third-person cover-based shooter, whether it was like Gears of War or an Uncharted multiplayer mode, right? Then you'd have Assassin's Creed would have a multiplayer mode. Then typically there'd be like a major fighting game, and then there'd usually be some other kind of game, whether it be wrestling or sports or racing. So in one given fall gaming season, okay, you'd have like anywhere from 5 to 10 major multiplayer games, and I would do entire sessions of multiplayer. Remember, the end of the year I would do like a week of fan appreciation multiplayer, because there would be so many multiplayer games that had released over that season that I'd be able to do that. Today, there's so few good multiplayer games. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't feel like they have longevity or they're worth playing more than just a couple times. So most of them I end up dropping after just a couple sessions. So let's see how this Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer is. If it actually is worth a shit and we want to do it more, I'd be more than happy to say let's do it once a week as a multiplayer session and, you know, see how it goes. But we're going to have to see what happens. Okay? I don't have high hopes for it. At the same time, I am hoping that it's not just terrible. You know, I hope that they actually, since they took time to do it, this is an additional mode no one was expecting. I'm hoping that it actually does have value to it. Okay? We're going to find out together. Sound good? All right. That's today's main gameplay stream. Okay? Later tonight, I'm going to be doing Throwback Street Fighter. That's right, my weekly Throwback Street Fighter session where I play 2+ hours of old school fun, Street Fighter 2, 3, and Street Fighter Alpha 3 included. I love doing this. Hopefully it'll be a fun session this week. Hope you'll join me around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time later tonight for that. Tomorrow, we've got quite the interesting day tomorrow. First of all, the main gameplay stream will be my next segment of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Beta. Now, this wasn't supposed to actually come out till today for everyone, but apparently they released it early. They released it last night because as I was playing Batman last night, a bunch of people messaged me and said, oh, I just got an email and it says that the Cold War Beta is out early. Okay, great, but I'm not going to redo my whole schedule for it. I really enjoyed playing this yesterday, excuse me. Last weekend, it was super fun. It was so fun, I played it the entire day on Sunday because I liked it so much. So, apparently there's more modes now available, which I'd like to check out. So that's going to be the major stream tomorrow. More Black Ops Cold War beta, and I hope we have fun just like we did last weekend, because, man, it was super fun last weekend. All right? Tomorrow night, it's the conclusion of Crash Bandicoot 4. There's not a heck of a lot left in the game. We've got 2 more regular stages left, all right, and then the final boss, and then that's it. Now, there may be a little bit of minimum post-game content unlocked. As you know, the reverse stages or whatever. So if we beat it a little early and we have extra time, we have the option, I can either go back and try to do some of the stages that are tougher to unlock collectibles, or we can just shoot the shit and hang out, all right? We'll see what happens tomorrow night and how long it actually takes me to beat Crash 4. But I'm excited for the conclusion after 2 weeks of very challenging platforming gameplay, okay? On Sunday, it's the conclusion of Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs. I've been told that I'm a little more than a third through the game after playing it for about 2 hours. And so one more major stream probably will be enough to beat it. So I'm going to go for that and try to finish it on Sunday, all right? Very different from the original Amnesia. Amnesia: The Dark Descent was a game that had a lot of light to dark elements. You constantly needed to find tinder boxes and use your lantern in order to keep light on, because if you didn't, your sanity would go down, which would make you move slower, see shit, cause damage to your health. And this one doesn't have that at all. This one literally has none of that element at all. It's just your infinite lantern, survive, and go from point A to point B solving very basic puzzles. Very different kind of game. A lot of people would say it's a walking simulator. I kind of have to agree, considering it's by the makers of Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, which 100% was a walking simulator. I totally understand why people feel the way that they do about A Machine for Pigs. But we'll wrap that up on Sunday, okay? Sunday night is up in the air. Sunday night, if everything goes according to plan, and we do finish everything as expected, then Sunday night is going to probably be more Black Ops Cold War beta. Considering this is the last weekend for the beta, I'd like to play a little bit more of it, all right? But if, let's say, for example, we don't finish Amnesia on the first stream, or, maybe Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer is so good, we want to play another session of it, then we have that flexibility for Sunday night to do kind of whatever we decide that we want to do together on the stream, okay? So that's why I'm doing that. Now, on Monday, that stream is completely wide open, okay? On Monday, I can do whatever I want, and I'm debating what I should do, but I have 2 major options for something to do, because I'd like to start something new. And here's what I'm debating. Hollow Knight, which is a game that I played during the Rageathon last month, and you guys seem to be very strongly opinionated that you wanted me to do a playthrough, while there's other people who seem to be very strongly opinionated that I shouldn't do a playthrough. Okay, it's a Metroidvania game, so playing it is taking a risk, because a lot of people get turned off by Metroidvanias for whatever reason. Okay? So anyway, I'm interested in it. Okay? The other option for Monday would be Genshin Impact. This game that a lot of people compare to Breath of the Wild, that is a free-to-play game, but it has gacha elements. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. It seems like people would like to see me play either. I really don't know what to do. So I'm going to play it by ear over the weekend and listen to your feedback. And based on your feedback, I'm going to determine what I want to do on Monday's stream. Okay? And then Monday night, excuse me. Monday night, Fall Guys, my weekly Fall Guys stream. Okay? So that's the deal. That's what's going on for the rest of the week. Now, when I return from my break, as you know, Tuesday is my day off from streaming. When I return on Wednesday, it's the premiere of Amnesia Rebirth, the new Amnesia game coming out this week, hence why I played so much Amnesia in the last week. I wanted to basically play all the games in the series before I played the new one. So I'm going to get my background in the series, and now we're going to be able to play a new one, which is interesting, okay? So I'm going to be starting that on Wednesday, and then I believe it's Thursday or Friday of this week. I'm not 100%. I have to double check this. It's the final DLC expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield called the Crown Tundra. I'm interested in that, obviously, as well. I really loved playing Pokemon last year. The DLC earlier this year was chill fun. And so we're going to be doing that as well. Okay, so we're going to be alternating between Amnesia Rebirth and the Pokemon DLC this week. Those are the main featured streams. The night streams will feature the conclusion of Batman Arkham City. Yes, that's correct. I'm actually at the end of the Riddler content. I only need to get, I think it's like 17 more trophies. And I can do that easily with Catwoman. So we can get those trophies and actually unlock the final Riddler battle, the boss fight. Which I'm excited for because I never got to see it 9 years ago. I didn't do that. I didn't get that far. So, you know, let's see. I'm excited. I want to see it. I want to see what it's going to be. Okay. And, yeah. Should be cool. All right, I'm seeing the weirdest thing in the stream chat. Yeah, look at that. My stream chat screwed up. My stream chat froze up for a little bit there. For almost a minute. And then all of a sudden, all the messages actually showed up. Yeah, look at that. How weird. So anyway, the night streams this coming week will feature Batman. Okay? We'll also feature Street Fighter. Okay? Possibility of featuring more of the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer if it's good. Okay? Also, whatever I start up playing on Monday is likely going to end up being played as night streams this week. Maybe 1 to 2 sessions. So if I start Hollow Knight or Genshin Impact, I'll probably do a couple night streams of that this week as well. And we'll go from there. You know, we don't have to lock in to commit to every single night yet. But that's kind of what I'm going for. Finishing Batman, doing a little bit more, you know, weekly Street Fighter, continuing whatever I start on Monday, and maybe more Fall Guys too. Okay? So, we shall see. Pretty good. All right? Pretty good stuff coming up. The week after that is another great week. Multiple big releases. We've got Watch Dogs Legion, as well as Little Hope, the next game from the Dark Pictures Horror Anthology series, and my Halloween Marathon, which is a perfect transition to say, guys, this is your last chance. This weekend is your absolute last chance to either nominate games or vote on the category of costume for that Halloween Marathon. Okay, guys? So, type !marathon into the stream chat. That will allow you to nominate games for the upcoming event. Type !costume into the stream chat in order to vote on a category of costume. From what I'm to understand, I haven't checked it since yesterday, but the categories that are in the lead are video game character and pop culture icon, and it's like neck, and it keeps going back and forth. Okay? So, please vote, and what you vote on over this weekend will determine what costume I get, because I'm actually going to get the costume on Tuesday. Okay? So vote, and vote some more. Thank you guys for the interaction. Thank you for the input, and thank you for the support. All right? Now, next month, holy shit. We all know what's going on next month. New games, new consoles. Going to be the busiest month of the year by far. I think there's like a record like 10 to 12 games that I actually want to play next month. Here, let's break it down quickly. Okay? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yakuza 7. Cyberpunk. Demon's Souls. Sackboy. Astro's Playroom. Bug Snacks. Godfall. There's more than that. I feel like there's more than that, and I'm forgetting a bunch of games. Oh, Call of Duty. Oh my god, how can I forget Call of Duty? Especially since it's been so good. So that's 9 games off the top of my head next month that I want to play. I'm sure there's more. I thought there was 12. I had this in my head stuck that there was 12, but maybe there's only 9. But anyway, I mean, just 9 games in 1 month. And the thing is, out of all those games, you know, games like Assassin's Creed, Cyberpunk, Yakuza, these are lengthy titles. These aren't games that I'm going to beat in 2-3 streams. These are games that are going to take like a month to beat each. So you know this is going to be a crazy-ass month for games where I'm going to be juggling so many games at once. It's going to be out of control, especially during that launch window of PlayStation 5 and when I actually get my PS5, which who knows when that's going to happen. If I'll get it at launch or not, I don't know, right? But if I do get it around launch, we're going to have to pick and choose which games I'm playing first, because there's no way I could play 5-6 games at once. It's just not possible. I'll probably play like a single session of each game, and based on that single session, you guys could tell me what you like, what you don't like. I'll tell you what I like, and then we'll determine together what games come first. Okay? Cool? Alright, so that's the deal. It's going to be a crazy couple of months. It really is. And thank you guys in advance for your support. And I know it's going to be tough to cover them all, but I'm going to do it. It's going to be a great end of this year, I feel like. We're going to be full speed ahead through the end of the year with all this crazy stuff coming out, man. All right? Good stuff. All right. Now, I have a couple of things I want to talk about today. Okay? Some good, some bad. All right? So, let's get to it. Should we start with, like, let's just start with some shitty news to get it out of the way, all right? So, I haven't talked about this much lately because I've preferred to focus on the positive, all right? But sadly, guys, you know, I haven't talked about it, but the chargebacks have continued. Like, every day now, I'm getting chargebacks, and it actually, I'd say there's like a 2-day lull, and now all of a sudden, again today, it happened again. I'm just, you know, it's ridiculous. So, today, just so you guys know, I'm already starting at negative $120. Yeah. I haven't played a game yet. I haven't done anything, and I'm in the hole $120 because of these chargebacks. Okay? This sucks. Now, here's the thing. Moving forward, this shouldn't be a problem. Here's why. I've identified the problem. I've identified how it happens. All right? And I have control of it. Meaning, if I identify that false contributions are coming in, I refund them that same day. It avoids the chargeback situation. It avoids me being held responsible for any kind of false transactions, any kind of fees, and it allows me to basically negate that, okay? But the month of September, all right, sadly, the month of September, I get the feeling quite a lot of the contributions that I got in the month of September were fake. And I didn't know that. Because at that point, I wasn't really keeping an eye on it. Okay? And so every day now I'm getting, oh, this tip from September was fake. This tip from September was fake. This tip from September was fake. I'm like, dude, this sucks. This really sucks. You know? This is a situation where something positive just happened. I talked about this yesterday. Okay? The cheers that I got in September were real. Okay? The cheers that I got from Overpowered Boon were real. So, I just got that positive benefit. But every day, and this is no exaggeration, every day I'm losing hundreds of dollars from what I made in September. It's being taken away from me. And it's to the point where I'm not exaggerating here. Alright? I have to actually take money out of my bank account to get my PayPal account back into the positive. Because every day there's so many of these chargebacks. And if you don't do that, PayPal will come after you and say, oh, you know, your account's in the negative. We're going to send you to collections. We're going to have people harassing you for money. Which obviously I don't want. You know, this sucks. And now the money that I'm making that's supposed to go to things like paying for the PlayStation 5, paying for the 12 plus games that I need to buy in the next month, which is going to be over $1,000, right, to buy all those games. Is being drained now just so I can use a PayPal account. It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. All right, so everyone who's being an idiot is now going to get either timed out or banned. Because here we go. Here's the morons. Oh, but you just got all those cheers. All right, I'm explaining to you the situation, but since you're basically going to be jealous idiots and talk negatively in the stream chat without listening, you can all be timed out or banned. What I'm trying to tell you guys is thus. I'm getting so many chargebacks that it's starting to negate the positive stuff going on elsewhere. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, I just found out that those cheers were real, but I've been getting constant chargebacks for the past 2 to 3 weeks. Do you understand me? My PayPal is in the negative. I'm being told by PayPal I need to pay them money to keep using my PayPal account. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't, you're deaf. All right? Do you understand this? If not, I don't know what else to say. You're stupid. And you want to believe a narrative that's not true. Okay? And I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to listen to idiots. So, if this is what you want to do, you want to sit here and be stupid, well, goodbye. And I just banned another idiot. So there you go. All right? So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you specifics. I'm not going to sit here and be like, every day this is what's happening. But for example, today, 120 bucks. Yesterday, 80 bucks. Now, do the math. How much did I make in tips yesterday on streams? If you add it up, it was about 150 to 160 bucks. Actually, I don't know what the processing fees. Yesterday, I lost money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yesterday, I actually lost money because of these chargebacks. Now, like I said, the good news is, moving forward, this shouldn't be an issue. I've got it under control. I figured out how to identify the false tips, and I'm stopping them at the door. They come in within that day. I'm putting them right back. That way, I'm not saying this is money that I made. I'm not counting it, and I'm not spending it. Instead, I just put it back, and that way, I can avoid this shit. But my problem right now is, I'm in the hole. You know, it sucks. All right? Why am I telling you this? Because sadly, people like to talk rumors and make shit up about me. They're like, oh, see all the income Phil makes? No, it's not true. A lot of the times, the tips that have been coming in the past 2 months, actually, have been fake. And I didn't know that until recently when I identified the problem, and now I've stopped it. But I didn't know that, you know? So, it's just like I told you guys yesterday. I was so happy yesterday. Well, I was happy, but I was skeptical and I had anxiety. Because I told you guys, oh, I found out those cheers were real. I'm so excited. But now, you know, I start looking at things, and now I look at, I get these messages every day, chargeback, chargeback, chargeback. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You know, like, what was real last month? You know, I have no idea at this point. This is terrible. You know, this is a situation where I thought that I was ahead of the curve. I went, wow, this has helped a ton. And I'm like, actually, no, it helped, but it's a good thing it happened because now I'm actually so much in the hole and I didn't realize it, you know? And I guarantee you it's not over, right? It's probably going to keep happening. This motherfucker apparently has been doing this for over a month to me. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that this was what was happening until just recently, about a week ago, is when I identified it as a major problem and I started blocking it, you know? So it sucks, you know? And again, I'm not going to go into specifics. I'm not going to tell you how much, you know, every day is going on. But just understand this, that there's idiots out there who every day they talk about me. They micromanage everything I do. They have they have like a ledger book to document every tip, every cheer, every sub, every contribution. And they say, Phil makes this much money. No. And the truth of the matter is, this past couple of months have really opened my eyes to what streamers go through and the crap that they have to put up with. And, you know, during the vest streak, I'll be honest with all of you, there was so much contributions coming in during the vest streak that really I didn't feel the negative impact of this stuff. It was like, whatever. I get a charge back a day. It ain't a big deal because I'm making so much every day. Now that the vest streak's over and it's basically been reduced and it's kind of getting back to reality, right? Which is still great, by the way. I'm not complaining. I'm telling you, you guys are going above and beyond. The contributions every day are outstanding. Everything is good. You know, I have no complaints. But now I'm looking at it like, damn. This just kind of, it sucks because again, the anxiety creeps up on me again. It's like, thank God that those cheers last month were real. Because actually, if they weren't, and this is no exaggeration, if they weren't, with the amount of chargebacks that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks, I probably would be in big trouble right now. Okay? So it's like, wow, it's like those cheers were a godsend. Because if they didn't come in, I probably would have been fucked over by what was going on. So thank God that they did come in. Okay? So, oh man. The reason I'm telling you this is thus. It's stressful for me. I love streaming. I love doing this. And then, you know, every day now, I get nervous that I'm going to get another notice of a giant chargeback that's going to now, you know, like I told you, my PayPal account right now is in the negative. I'm not exaggerating. It's in the red. And I'm being told by PayPal, pay us money, because you owe us money because of all these chargebacks. And I'm like, Jesus, okay. So I'm trying to, you know, I'm taking some of the what I've earned now that's legit, and I'm putting it into the PayPal account to try to get it back into the black so they'll stop hounding me about it, you know? And it's not a good feeling at all, You know, I just went through financial troubles. I just went through a fucking bankruptcy where that debt was legit. That debt was actually legit. That was debt that I had racked up, okay? That's my fault. I was irresponsible, and that's the reason why I got to that situation, okay? This is bullshit. This is people breaking the fucking law to fuck me over and put me in a terrible position, okay? So it sucks ass. FBG Duck is an idiot. Oh, but you expected to keep fake tips? No, FBG Duck. I didn't know what were fake tips. So now you can get a fucking timeout too because you're being an asshole to me. I'm literally explaining to you that I couldn't tell what was real and what was not. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know there was a malicious party behind the scenes who was fucking doing this and impersonating people and being an asshole like this. I didn't understand that until it kind of blew up this month. This month of October is when it all came to light, and I realized what was going on, and I did more work to realize, okay, here's how I can identify it, here's how I can stop it. So why you gotta be an asshole? No, obviously, someone coming in and doing giant $1,000 tips saying, oh, this is a legit tip. No, I didn't expect that was real. And I didn't, you know, that's not the issue. The issue is, I'm telling you, every day I'm getting like $50, $80, $20, and it's all adding up to the point where I'm not expecting this and it's just not stopping. Okay? So it sucks ass. As I told you guys, the tips that come in, these are the funds that I use for spending every week. Grocery shopping. Okay? Buying the new games. Any expenses that I have, you know, sometimes pet supplies, sometimes other things that I have when I'm going out. Yes, eating out with my wife. These are the funds I use for that. Because all the other money that comes in goes to paying the mortgage, paying the car payments, paying health insurance, paying this and that behind the scenes, the utilities. That's what all that pays for. So these tips are not something people. Why don't you just leave all your tips money in there just in case to cover all the chargeback? Because this is my fluidity of my business as the tips. That's why. Now Romy Rowe says make a Venmo. I don't know what Venmo is. I think I need to look into it. I'm serious, because people are telling me with this Venmo, whatever it may be, apparently it's a way to contribute, but there's no chargebacks possible. And I'm like, that sounds too good to be true to me. Okay? And I'm curious. Right? I'm definitely curious. What's going on with Venmo? Is it as good as it sounds? Right? People are saying it's a PayPal competitor. Venmo is owned by PayPal, then it can't be a PayPal competitor if it's owned by PayPal. Right? There has to be a catch. I agree. It's like Cash App. I don't know what Cash App is. Oh, Death Saw says to use Venmo, both the sender and the receiver have to be in the United States. Well, you see, here's the thing. I could do that with PayPal right now. I talked about this the other day. I said I was looking for safeguards that I could put into place to avoid, you know, these fake tips coming in. And one of the things that you can do, that you can set up, is that you absolutely need to have a registered a registered mailing address in the United States in order for someone to tip you. But the thing is, I know for a fact I have a large international audience. I know that. I know half of you guys right now on the stream probably don't live in the USA. I know that. And I like that. I like that I have a wide range and international audience of people that watch me at all times of the day from all over the world. Okay? Seriously. So, that would not be good at all, I feel. You know? Well, I'm going to have to look into it. Let me put it this way. All right? At this point moving forward, all right, I now have a system in place to identify fake tips. So I can usually identify them as they come. As you heard, this last week, I started doing that and saying, okay, that's fake, I'm not counting that. And then immediately I would refund all those tips. Okay? And that's a good thing. I don't want that bogging down our streams, taking up time, and I also don't want those being counted as income when it's not. All right? But what I'm telling you guys is please don't listen to the bullshit. There's people out there who are trying to say, oh, well, you see, Phil just said that the cheers were real. Combine that with all the income he just made. That means he made, like, you know, ridiculous money in the last month. No, actually, it's actually not true at all, whatsoever. That's not true. The truth is, a lot of the contributions I got in the last month have been chargebacks, and there's been a ton of these happening, and now it's screwing me over. All right, like I said, just this morning, $120 was taken from me from chargebacks, right? So now I'll fight them, obviously, but being that the person who's been doing this has actually been using stolen credit cards, it's not someone trying to scam PayPal and lying. This is actual stolen credit cards. You know, it's probably going to go through and I'm going to lose the money, and it's like, this is not good. Like I said, I'm in the red. So please understand that and don't listen to the slander and don't listen to the bullshit. Okay? Just don't. Okay? If you'd like to contribute, please by all means do. Please understand that every contribution that comes in is well appreciated, is going to help me get through the next few months. Like, I'm nervous now. I'm legit nervous again, which is not good. I don't like being fucking nervous about the future. I don't. I felt like this was the last 2 months were great. You know, the vest streak ended. I was nervous. I was like, I don't know, are the contributions going to keep coming in or whatever? And it looked like there was no stopping them, that the contributions were still good and coming in. Everything was good. Coming to find out, like, half the contributions via tips are fake. You know? And that's what's screwing me over right now. So, what I'll say is thank you guys for your support. Thank you for understanding. Thanks for any contributions during a stream. They're much appreciated. All right? Today on stream, we're doing it as usual. $50 tips goal, Gunner Glasses reward. $100 tips goal, put on a vest. And the vest we wore yesterday was the red vest. Yes. So that means all other vests are eligible today except red. Okay? Please consider contributing. It's not mandatory, but it's much appreciated, especially right now. Like, with the future uncertain because of this nonsense that's happening every day behind the scenes, I really need as much support as possible. So thank you to anyone who actually does, contribute in any way. I appreciate that. All right, guys? All right. There's one news story I want to talk about. And I hate the fact that it has to be a negative and cynical news story, but it just is. Okay? So this morning, Crystal Dynamics, the designers of let me try this again. I got distracted because a big message popped up in stream chat, which means that this is worthless to me. It basically means Venmo would be worthless because that's exactly what's happening. WJR says, if you use Venmo, the only way you can do a chargeback is to issue a claim with your card issuer. That's exactly what's happening right now to me with all these fake tips. Someone is buying stolen credit card numbers off the black market of the internet, using those to do fake tips on my streams, and then the people who actually own those credit cards are filing formal chargebacks with their credit card companies. And therefore, they're getting their money back and screwing me over. You see? That's what's happening. So if you're telling me that that is the case, then sadly Venmo is useless to me. There definitely are chargebacks. Okay? Spurgelmeister says, how do you know it's stolen credit cards? Well, Spurgelmeister, let's see. When someone does 4 identical $100 tips within a 1-minute time frame under the same name and same IP address, but each one of those tips came in from a completely different person and different credit card and different source, and then all those credit card tips get charged back within a week saying, oh, this is an unauthorized transaction, that's pretty much a red flag that it's stolen credit cards. It's called common sense. You got to use it sometimes. I know some people don't have it. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the news story I want to talk about. Okay? So, over the last few months, during all this hullabaloo with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, one of the things that we were promised, okay, both from the console manufacturers themselves, as well as from all those major AAA game publishers. All right? Is that don't worry about buying a new game before the new consoles come out. There's no reason at all for you to wait. A lot of people would say, oh, well, I want to wait. I want to buy the PlayStation 5 version of said game or the Xbox Series X version of said game instead of the Xbox One PS4 version because I want the absolute best version of the game. I don't want to pay money for a version that's inferior. I'll wait an extra month or two before I play that new release, right? But all of these companies have been coming out and telling us, don't wait. Buy the version now. Play the game now because we're doing this new thing. We've never done this before, but we're doing it now for this new console generation. If you buy the current gen version of the game, you're going to get a free upgrade of that version of the game to the next console gen version, right? And it's going to have significant improvements, including better frame rates, better graphics, obviously control improvements because you're going to be using the new controllers, right? And we've been told this many times for upcoming games like Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, and one of the big ones, admittedly, one of the big ones that actually was pushing this and actually having it as a selling point of the game release was Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers came out last month. It was one of the earlier releases of the busy fall gaming season. Came out in early September and was pretty mixed. All right. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I was on the fence. I thought that the campaign was pretty good. But at the same time, I felt that there wasn't enough meat to the campaign to warrant a $60 purchase. And the other content that was in the game, sadly, was just as I had expected. Incredibly just grindy, repetitive, not unique enough and interesting enough and having enough story to warrant keep playing. So what did I do? I played the campaign of the game, and then I dropped it and said, sorry guys, unless there's story expansions coming out in the future, I'm not going to be playing this game anymore. All right? Which there are going to be story expansions. That's what we were promised, that there would be free story expansions in the future for characters like Spider-Man and Hawkeye, etc. So we're all anticipating that, okay? But apparently I wasn't the only person because reports have been saying so many people just played through the campaign and then dropped the game that even if you wanted to continue to play the game, like let's say you wanted to keep playing the game with people online and doing the grindy dungeons and the end game content or post game content, etc., you can't even do it. You go to do it and it basically ends up being search, and they can't find it. They can't even find a match. They're just sitting there and they can't fucking get anything going. Now imagine that. Your game is only 1 month old and people can't find matches to play the game, which this game was supposed to be. It was pushed as games as a service. That yes, this game would have a concrete campaign that you could play through, but it was supposed to be an ongoing service so you could keep playing. All right? Ford Camaro just said in the stream chat, statistics are saying the player base is down to less than 10,000 people worldwide. Yikes! For a game that's supposed to have longevity, right? A game that's supposed to have a vibrant and active player base, people to jump in and play with at all times. Everyone dropped it. Everyone agreed with me and said, damn, this game plays repetitive and boring. There's no point to doing it. So everyone played the campaign and stopped playing it. All right? So this morning, Crystal Dynamics came out with an announcement that was, in my opinion, very misleading. And I think it was actually an attempt to try to misdirect what they were really saying. All right? So this announcement was huge, like pages and pages long. And what they're saying is we're listening directly to the players' requests and the player feedback, and here's what we're doing. We're tweaking this mode. We're tweaking that mode. We're going to fix this mode that's broken. We're going to improve this that's broken. So they basically what it is a really overglorified patch notes is what it is. It's telling you what they're fixing immediately and like a roadmap of what they want to fix. Okay? But the thing that they literally put at the end of the announcement that most news outlets actually did pick up on and posted this up as the major announcement of this update is that Crystal Dynamics has now said, as of this morning, their plans to have Marvel's Avengers launch as an updated game on the new consoles has been completely dropped. And they're not even going to start working on that until 2021 at an undisclosed date. Okay? So, just think about this. 2-3 months ago, this was a selling point of the game. Buy Marvel's Avengers, and then when the new consoles come out, play with your friends and people from all over the world on the new console generation, updated graphics, updated performance. It's going to be really cool, man. So definitely don't worry about buying Marvel's Avengers now. You know, buy it now and get the free upgrade. And then this morning they essentially said, well, the upgrade's canceled. We'll work on it next year if we get around to it. That's what the announcement said. Now, in addition to that, recently, CD Projekt Red came out and outright admitted, it was a few weeks ago, they said, nah, if you get Cyberpunk on PS5 or Xbox Series X, it's the same, exactly the same as the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One versions, where there's no upgrade at all. We'll work on that. We'll do it next year, but our focus is to get the game out for the fall and have it work now, and then we'll work on next-gen upgrades later. So, this is a classic case, okay? Over-promising and under-delivering, which I talk about here on the stream a lot now. I tell you, in a business climate, the last thing you want to do to your customer base is over-promise and under-deliver, because that loses trust. That makes it so customers don't believe you anymore. It makes it that you lose customer loyalty and you lose sales over time. So, here's what happens, is that now people will not believe this shit anymore, right? And I hate to say it, but what is the next promise that we were told about these next-gen consoles that's going to fall through? I would almost go as far to say I feel a lot of people went and bought Avengers, not knowing if it was going to be a good game or not, all right? But the reason they bought it was because they were promised it would be a game that would work and be improved on PS5 and Xbox Series X. And they thought, wow, so even though I'm playing it now and there's not a lot of content, you know, moving forward, I'll play it on the next-gen console and I'll have a co-op game to play with my friends. Now you don't, because they said they're not doing it. They're not even working on it. They don't care, right? So you could still play it, but it'll be the current version you're playing right now with 0 improvements. So I think a lot of people got the wool pulled over their eyes, you know, and they got kind of fooled here, and that ain't fair. That's just not fair at all, okay? That's pretty messed up. And I'm curious now, how many other games are going to follow suit? Are we going to now get, Ubisoft says, you know, we promised this for Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. Fuck it. Since everyone else seems to be dropping it too, we're not doing it either. You just play the current gen versions and, you know, they'll see 0 improvements. I almost guarantee it. Okay? Also, I should also say this, because WJR did remind me, there was supposed to be a new character coming out in October as part of their roadmap. The first new character, free DLC, was supposed to come out this month. They bumped it. And there's no release window for when the character's coming out either. So, I guess the first part of the story is Marvel's Avengers seems to be a huge failure, even though it did get initially good sales, because it was an Avengers game. Sadly, it seems like the game has not lived up to anyone's expectations. Most people have stopped playing it, to the point where now Crystal Dynamics is saying we can't even live up to the promises that we made about the DLC, and now we're not even going to give you the next gen version we promised. So y'all bought it and y'all got fooled. Right? That's pretty bad, dude. I'm sorry, that's pretty bad. And I'm curious, what's going to happen? What's going to happen now? By the way, big Ada Boom says, I'm regurgitating an IGN article. I didn't even read this on IGN. I got this from people posting up the story on Twitter. You're a fucking idiot. But anyway, yeah, what's going to happen next? How many more games are going to follow suit and say, you know, we promised this for next gen, but fuck it. Who cares? This isn't going to make us any extra money. It's true. Think about this. No one's going to buy an extra game now because they were promised that it would be upgraded on the next gen, right? A sale is a sale. It only happens once. Previous console gens, you would buy the game twice. Like, no exaggeration. I remember there were games that would come out on the current console gen, and then you would buy it again, the upgraded version, for the next console, and you'd buy the game twice. So now they're basically saying that's not the case, right? Oh, man. So anyway, well, I guess we have to see. And obviously I'll continue to follow this subject and I'll let you guys know, but That's not good news. Seriously, one of the things I wanted to do, and this is true, one of the things I wanted to do at the launch of PS5 was test out a game that I had played recently on PS4 and then played the upgraded version on PS5 and compared the two. And now it looks like that won't even be possible because Avengers was going to be one of the ones I was going to do it. And now I can't because they lied. So I guess we'll see if I can even do that for a single game when PS5 comes out. It's not looking very likely. Alrighty. Okay. Let's do some shout-outs, everybody. Let's do some... Oh, my God. Here we go. Let's do some shout-outs. So, we had some overnight cheering. Golden Colts did a few overnight cheers. First, he says, do you think you'll ever wear a flannel shirt on stream? It's getting cold and they'd be comfy. Honestly, no. It'd be too warm. Because in my office, even on the coldest days, all right, it still gets hot and stuffy in here because of all the electronics I have running. Now, admittedly, it's cooler now. And right now, I got my window all the way open. I got my fan on high. I'm wearing shorts. And I'm feeling a little cool. All right? But later today, if I put on a vest, if we hit the tip skull, I'll actually get hot and start to sweat. No exaggeration. I would say maybe there's a few months, maybe like from like maybe November, December, okay, through maybe like March. So maybe 2 to 3 months a year, it's cool enough in here where I don't need the fan blasting. I can just have the outside air coming in the window, and it's fresh air enough where it's like a nice temperature. But it's not comfortable being in this room all day. It's just not, you know. I wish there was a way to regulate the temp to make it easier. It's not. There really isn't. Having all these electronics crammed into a room like this just makes the native ambient temperature go up by like 15 plus degrees and makes it very stuffy air. That's why you literally never see me wearing long sleeve shirts in here, right? That's why. When I lived in Connecticut, I wore long sleeve shirts frequently, but I didn't use face cam when I lived in Connecticut. Right before I moved out here 6 years ago, I went and I bought a big grouping of long sleeve shirts. I did. I thought it was actually going to be cooler out here. And I never wear them. I have all these long sleeve shirts that are nearly new that I almost never wear because I don't need them. It's too hot in here. So there you go. All right, then he asks, am I going to carve a pumpkin this month? It would be cool to have a jack-o'-lantern. Nope. We're not gonna. We thought about it, but we're just too busy and didn't really get around to it. This month, every day off we have this month, seriously has been run around, go to appointments, go to this obligation, do this. This coming Tuesday, all right, is actually the first day in 1 month that we're going to have off together, my wife and I, where we don't have to run around hitting up appointments and doing things on a schedule. We actually will have flexibility to say we can just kind of go out and do what we want during the course of the day, and we don't have to freak out about we have to go here at this time, here at this time, here at this time. So I haven't even had a chance, like there's a nice pumpkin patch out here. I was like, dude, can we go? I haven't even had a single chance to think about it. It's been too crazy, you know? So it ain't going to happen this year. And Golden Colts did 80-bit cheers. Well, thank you for the cheers overnight, Golden Colts. All right, now we start off with the people who contributed during today's stream. The very first cheer came in from Jay Hawkwood. And he said, morning, my good friend Phil. I hope you have a splendid stream. Thank you very much. Very nice positive message from Jay Hawkwood. Appreciate that, sir. Knows Nobody did a 100-bit cheer. And says, happy Big Friday, amigos. Thank you, Knows Nobody. Let's get you up on the leaderboard as the top cheerer so far. 100 bits, right? Yes, 100-bit cheer. Spawn Killer is the first tipper of the day with a $1 tip. He says, I'm excited for the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer. Yeah, and I hope it's good. Like I said, I hope, at the very least, we get some fun and silliness out of it like I did with the Assassin's Creed multiplayer. I feel like if at least we get a little bit of enjoyment out of something different and a few laughs, it should be worth checking out today. Now, maybe it'll go above and beyond to be so good that I actually end up playing this like weekly. I don't know. We'll see, but let's find out today. I'm excited for it. Wings Pullin' Strings tipped me $2 and says, when will you finish playing StarCraft 2? Legacy of the Void concludes the story, and there's the Nova Covert Ops campaign, and start a third stream if you need to. No. I'm not playing that. I haven't played that in a decade. I played StarCraft 2 when it was new. And this is interesting enough, years ago, this was before I did direct capture, this was before I live streamed, I did a full playthrough of StarCraft 2 when it first released. I got so much negative feedback. Everyone was complaining. They said the game is boring. It's not a fun game to watch someone play. Why am I playing this? This is not my forte. We don't want to see this. Okay? And honestly, I was shocked because back then, this is when I was actually at the height of my YouTube popularity. And when I played games, typically, it didn't matter what I played. Usually, they got a good exposure and people enjoyed seeing it. In fact, I remember at the same time frame playing games like Disgaea. Was it Disgaea 3 or something like that? And that was a really oddball RPG. Grid-based with anime-ish characters and everything. And that was a long, drawn-out RPG. But people actually liked watching me play with the Prinnies. Remember that? The Prinnies and all of that? People actually liked it and wanted to see more. But for some reason, StarCraft 2 just did not work out very well. Okay, I don't know why. People just didn't like it. So I never went back to it. The only other strategy-based style game that I played over the years, I did play XCOM, and that did again. It did okay, and then people got bored of it when it got tougher, and it looked like I would have had to grind it repeatedly to get my characters to level up so I could progress. People hated it, and I dropped it. Take a look at Fire Emblem. I don't even want to get into it. 5 months to beat it, and people complaining the entire time I played it, right? So these, lengthy, strategic style, strategy-based games, people don't really like them that much, or at least don't really like watching me play them. So, sadly, I don't think I'm ever going back to StarCraft. By the way, didn't they announce this morning that StarCraft 2 support is now over? Like, they're not going to do anything else with it? I thought that announcement came out today, that basically what's there is there, and they're not going to do anything else with it. I thought that they announced that this morning. Well, thank you for the tip. Wings pulling strings. You're the top tipper of the day. Hopefully not for long. Jay Hawkwood cheered. Said, you can start only taking tips via Bitcoin. Let's not even get into that. Bitcoin transactions. I'm sure there's absolutely no fraud ever with Bitcoin transactions. It's fraud free, right? Yeah, right. TJ Gamebox cheers says, are you afraid with all these chargebacks PayPal could suspend your account? The only time PayPal will take action is if you, for an extended period of time, have a negative balance on your account. And even then, all they do is they put your account into collections, meaning they will harass the shit out of you. They'll have someone calling you. They'll constantly be emailing you for money. All right? I'm hoping not to get into that situation. Okay? So, no, they're not going to say one day, oh, I've decided to cancel your PayPal account. Goodbye. No, what they want you to keep using their business so that they'll keep making money. So they're going to keep asking you for money. Anyway, Beanie's Games did a 200-bit cheer. It's the biggest cheer of the day, and says, DSP's here to start your day off right. And wait. Oh, he says, here, I want to start your day off right. Use this, to do whatever you want. It's not much, but I hope it helps. Thank you. I almost misread that completely. Thank you, Beanie's Games, for the 200-bit cheer and the biggest cheer of the day. Ninstar Rune Cheer says, I wonder if it's Marvel fatigue. I know tons of people who stopped giving a shit about Marvel after Infinity War Part 2. It's been almost a decade of Marvel movies, hasn't it? Makes me wonder if that's the reason it's failing. I mean, I was one of the people who was under the impression that this Avengers game should have come out many years ago. I mean, you're right. We had Avengers 1, Avengers 2, and then Avengers Infinity War double movie. If this game had come out at any point during there, it probably would have been an even bigger seller. Why on earth they waited this fucking long to put out the Avengers game just makes no sense at all. And you're right. I actually feel like after Endgame, right? After Infinity War Endgame, a lot of people feel like that was the end of the Marvel stuff for them. And not to say that the Marvel stuff ended, you still had a new Spider-Man movie, and they have a ton of new Marvel stuff in production that sadly is, we don't know when it's coming out because of COVID. A lot of it got delayed, right? But I agree with you. It really did feel like Endgame was the logical stopping point for these characters. Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, among many others who basically their plot lines are completed. And those were some of the major characters. So, now you have to hope that people will care about these other characters who weren't the main characters. You see? I would say they'll continue to make money, and I do think that once we get like a next wave of content beginning, a next phase or whatever you want to call it, that it will be popular again. But it's going to take a while. And right now, there's nothing going on with Marvel. There hasn't been a Marvel movie in a long-ass time. So, of course, you're going to have less interest in Marvel right now. Okay? Bubble Buddy cheered and said, my name is Bubble Leg Slap and Hollow. Keep up your great streams, buddy. Leg Slap. This guy is so obsessed with leg slaps. Delana tipped me $1. Says, what would be the most underrated fighting game series you've ever played? The most underrated fighting game series I've ever played. Oh, man. See, here's the thing. Like, there's fighting games that I feel should have got way more recognition than they did. But the reason that no one talks about them anymore is because they were overshadowed by a future game. So, for example, if you were to ask me, in all of the Versus series of games that Capcom put out there over the years, okay, what's my favorite one and what's the best one or the most fun? I would actually say my favorite one is Marvel vs. Capcom 1, okay, because that game implemented assists, right? Before then, there had been an assist feature that really didn't work well. That was the first game that had actually assists in fighting games that were actually useful. And it basically did a lot of things uniquely. I'm not going to go into the massive detail. I'll be here all day. He won't explain it because there's nuances and shit I don't want to talk about. But Marvel vs. Capcom 1 for me hit it on all cylinders. And then MVC 2 just took that formula and ran with it even further and was a better game, I feel. But MVC 1 was like the game. But if you're talking fun factor, X-Men vs. Street Fighter was actually, in my opinion, the most fun to play. It was broken as hell. Every character had like a crazy juggle infinite and shit. But I feel that X-Men vs. Street Fighter started the crossover craze with fighting games where it made possible, oh, you can have guest characters in a fighting game and it'll actually work and be a solid game. Yes. Oh, you can have a tag system where people can tag in and out. Yes, and it works. That was the first game that had any of that, okay? But no one talks about those games. You either hear about Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and no one remembers the roots where it came from. Right? Or you could talk about a series like Darkstalkers, which it was actually an outstanding fighting game series that evolved along with Street Fighter. In my opinion, the Street Fighter Alpha series and the Darkstalkers series went neck to neck because they were coming out at exactly the same time. I actually feel Darkstalkers is better than the Street Fighter Alpha series. I do. But no one ever talks about Darkstalkers, and Darkstalkers was completely dropped, and no one remembers it. Right? Who remembers Darkstalkers? They never made a new one or anything. It all ended with Vampire Savior. And then after that, no one remembers shit. You know? So, yeah, there's a lot of gems out there. Underrated games over the years. Like, even to this day, King of Fighters. King of Fighters gets recognition. But, like, back in the day, King of Fighters was a legit contender. It was as good as Street Fighter back in the day. And at some point, for some reason, it became more fringe and more anime-ish. And because of that, it kind of went a different direction. Like, if you look at a lot of the characters that were added to King of Fighters over the years, they look like they belong in an anime. They don't look like they're fighting game characters at all. But the game series is solid. The gameplay holds up. But a lot of people don't hold it in very high regard. They think that it's like a fringe fighting game, right? Swinnyman JPEG did 100-bit cheers. I don't know why you're laughing at a Bitcoin suggestion. It's impossible to charge back Bitcoin because the transaction once verified, but the blockchain is permanent and cannot be charged back. Great. And how many streamers deal with Bitcoin? It's a valid question. How many streamers have decided that Bitcoin is valid and, there's no problems with it, so they just do Bitcoin stuff? I get the feeling, sadly, no one would really care. The people who contribute to my streams are not Bitcoin handlers. They're not going to make investment accounts in Bitcoin so they can give me Bitcoins. Anyway. There you have it. Let's now do some shout-outs for the top cheers of the week so far. Keep in mind it's Friday. We still got many days to go this streaming week for me. But thank you to those who have contributed so far. In 10th place, we've got Lettuce Conqueror. He's conquered all lettuce. In 9th place, Bubble Buddy. In 8th place, Green Frog. We have a triple tie for 5th place between Robert Evans, Spartan King, and Retro Jim. Upscaled Man is currently in 4th place for cheering. Ninstar Rune is in 3rd place. Mr. Minecraftish 1 is in 2nd. And Blue 4 2188, 1st place for cheers this week. Thank you, guys. Also, thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions to the channel this week so far. We've got Cashmere Goat, Diocletian, Jom Ann, The Paradox, Django Pops, Spartan King, Ultimate Cloud, and Mr. Minecraftish, who all gifted a single subscription to the channel this week. Thank you all for the support. Green Frog has gifted 5 subscriptions to the channel. Awesome. And Shy LaButt gifted 6 subscriptions so far this week. Thank you, and thank you for your support this week, everyone. I appreciate that. Sweaty Man JPEG cheered again and says, why not be a pioneer? You made the first Let's Plays. You could be the first streamer to accept Bitcoins. I use Cash App. Sending Bitcoin is as easy as sending USD. Sweaty Man JPEG, as always, I'll say this. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You're telling me Bitcoin is a perfect cure for my problems on streams with chargebacks, and that there's absolutely no way to charge them back, and there's no downside. I don't believe it. I think that there's probably something with Bitcoin that's going to be a downside. And I would need to do research on that to figure out what exactly that would be. Because the last thing I would want to do is say, oh, I'm doing it, and everyone starts giving me Bitcoin, and the next thing you know, something goes backfires on me. Right? So I guess we'll see. Like I said, sadly right now, I am in a situation, okay, where I am getting a lot of issues with chargebacks. All right? And by the way, please, guys, I need the support via tips to try to negate the chargebacks that I've been getting. If you tip me today, I would really, really appreciate it. Tips are preferred now because I need to get my PayPal account out of the red. So every tip that you give me helps me get my PayPal out of the red. Okay? It does. And I need that help today. We're doing the same stuff we're doing with tips as usual. $50 reward, $100 reward, etc. Please consider contributing via tipping if you can today. All right? But I agree, I need to start looking at maybe some viable alternatives. I don't know what they are. If you're telling me Venmo is an alternative, but then you say, oh, yeah, the only way you could charge back Venmo is by issuing a claim with your credit card issuer. Yeah, that's what they're doing now. Because it's stolen credit cards they're using. So that wouldn't benefit me at all. It would actually just be a waste of time. So obviously, immediately I've already been disproven that I should even use Venmo, right? Okay, then. Laterial did 100-bit cheers. Can you add the Steve Jones remix from Mass Defect to the pre-stream? At the time, I remember the Ubisoft takedown notice being hilarious. The Steve Jones remix from Mass Defect? What is that? That's not that this is for my channel, bitch, is it? I'm trying to remember. Was there a different Steve Jones remix? I don't even know what that is. Yeah. Sorry, I don't recall what that is. Okay. Green Frog cheered. And he said, when are you planning to start Genshin Impact? My apologies if you said it, but I missed it. On Monday, I have an opening. Monday's main stream is open, and I'm either going to do Hollow Knight or Genshin Impact. One or the other. And I'm going to listen to your feedback over the weekend about what you guys want to see. And I'm going to play something based on your feedback. Okay? I'd be interested to play either. Okay? So let's see what happens over the weekend and what people suggest. An anonymous cheerer did 1,500-bit cheer. Thank you so much, whoever that is. Obviously, you wanted to remain anonymous. And so you will. And I appreciate that. That's the biggest cheer of the day. Thank you for that. Let's get that on the leaderboard. I'm just going to put it up as Anon. Will anyone beat the anonymous cheerer? Thank you, anonymous cheerer, for that. Very supportive. Upscaled man just tipped me $4.20, which is the biggest tip of the day. He says, you're the best. I just got done work early, and the first thing I wanted to do was pick up A. And then it cut off. Darn. Upscaled man, your message cut off, dude. So I have no idea what you were trying to say, but I do appreciate the contribution. Let's get you on the leaderboard here. That sucks. Okay. I have not seen the PlayStation 5 UI video. I've seen screen captures of the UI, and I don't know why people are excited because it's just the fucking UI. You know? Oh my god, look at that! I don't care. Does it move around, and can you see your games, and can they boot them from there? That's all I care about. I'm not going to sit there drooling over the UI, you know? I don't know why people freak out about everything for a new console, but anyway, okay, so Upscale Man, yeah, sadly your message cut off. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'll be able to read the rest of your message and answer you. Why didn't I play Samurai Showdown? Because I was on the fence about it, and when it came out, there was a lot of other stuff going on. So at the time, I skipped it, and I said if I heard good things about it, I would play it. A lot of people said at launch the online play was absolutely terrible and never got better. And admittedly, the Samurai Showdown series wasn't anything I was super interested in. I did play it in arcades back in the day, but not a ton. It was one of those games that was there, and I would play it every once in a while, but it wasn't a major focus. So I really don't have any investment to really play it either. Like, I'm not super interested in that gameplay, those gameplay mechanics and style. So I really just didn't get around to it, and now there's no point in playing it now. Okay. Jethro's main choice, you forgot to put just chatting in your description. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You're being a jerk. Stop that. Right now. Okay. Alright. Well, Upskilled Man just tipped me another $4.20. He says, I picked up a cheesesteak after work, and I'm wearing my new DSP hoodie. It's the red and black one. I'm loving it. Keep it up. Cool. Well, cheesesteaks are absolutely delicious. I'm jealous of you. Because, number one, there's no one near me that does a good cheesesteak. I know, because I've tried a few places that claim they do it, and they suck. And in addition, I can't really eat red meat that much anyway. So even if I had the option to have a cheesesteak, I probably wouldn't get it 9 times out of 10. So I'm very jealous that you got a delicious cheesesteak, and I hope you enjoy it. Timbo Slices here. He says, it's just not UI that they've showed off. They showed off challenges that you could do for trophies in some games. It lets you go right to the spot of the game to complete it. That's interesting. Here's the thing. I don't want to spoil myself. I know everyone here gets so fucking overhyped about everything, right? Everyone on the internet has to get all creative. I want to know every piece of the console before it comes out. I want to know where every screw and bolt goes. I want to know the lights that light up. I want to know every feature, everything. Now, yes, now. Well, if you're going to do it all now, then why do you even need the console? Right? I want to leave some stuff for me to explore when the console comes out, you know? Like that day when I get the console, whether it's launch day or not, when I get that console and I get to unbox that thing, I get to look at it in person, right? Feel how heavy it is, see what it looks like. Hook it up. Boot it up for the first time. Go through the UI myself, right? Listening to how it sounds and everything. Trying out the new headphones I'm going to have. All these things, right? They're all things that you want to experience for the first time in person. It's part of that experience of getting something new. Imagine when the Super Nintendo came out, if you knew everything about not only the hardware and how it worked, but also you knew everything about Super Mario World before you ever played it. Every fucking world was spoiled and everything was exposed, right? What's the point of fucking getting it? That's how it is today. I don't understand why everything has to be completely spoiled on the internet before you even get your hands on it. Like, that's part of my experience. It's hard for me these days to stay away from all these spoilers about games. Like Cyberpunk, I have actively tried to not follow information about that game. Seriously, I've tried to stay as little exposure as possible to the game, so when I play it, it's a fresh experience, and it's not, oh, I already knew what the whole fucking game was before I played it. On purpose, I don't want that spoiled. I don't want my experience so spoiled because I'm such an overhyped fanboy of shit that I need to know every piece of everything. I'm not going to watch a UI video for fucking PS5. I want to do that for myself. You know? Why'd I buy the console then? Anyway, Romy Roach cheered, and he says, Dark Side Phil, 2K21, Drake has no talent. No, I'm not interested in the sports game. Seriously, like, that's the last, out of all the games I'm interested in, like, anywhere from 9 to 12 games that I need to buy alone in the month of November, sports games are the last fucking priority for me. So, Timbo Slice cheered again. He says, be on the lookout. Sony said the side things like headphones for PS5 is coming out early on September 30th, so you might actually get them shipped in 2 weeks before the system. That's cool. That's actually cool. If that's the case, I'd be pleased with that. That would give you a little bit of a preview, right? A little bit of a preview before the actual console shows up. I could do a live unboxing of the Pulse 3D headphones and give you my opinion on them. Can't use them yet, but obviously could take a look in person, see how they feel and everything. That would be pretty neat. All right, I'm excited for that. Cool. Another, an anonymous cheerer did another 1,500-bit cheer. Thank you, anonymous cheerer. Whoever this is, I really appreciate your support today. Thank you, thank you. Okay, guys. So here's the deal. Let's take a break. All right? I'm going to take a quick break to use the bathroom. When we come back, we're going to check out Ghost of Tsushima Legends. We're going to see what these multiplayer modes are. Hopefully they're good and they're worth trying. Hopefully they're not a waste of time. All right, but we'll know when I get back. All right, so thank you guys for your support. I will see you in a few minutes for Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Thanks.